but there's a video I want to do. So the Quartering, do you guys know who Jeremy from the Quartering is? He's like, a lot of people have like chalked him up to be kind of a grifter. And I think the video that he put out today just makes him look like the biggest grifter ever. Well, he put it out. Okay, he put it out 2 days ago. Because he puts out so many goddamn videos every day. 28 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 1 day ago, I mean, this guy is mass spamming his channel.
Come on, everyone.
He mass spams his channel to get money. So, very disappointing. I mean, I don't know. This guy just lives on his freaking computer or whatever, and it's really sad. But I think he's kind of pathetic. And I've always kind of thought he was a grifter, like a right-wing grifter. He made a Trump cookbook, a Trump drink book, and some of the idiots in his audience just eat this stuff up and like buy it. And I think it's pretty crazy that anybody would listen to this guy. He's a complete chode. Dave, I've been asking. I don't know a ton about him though. Well, you're gonna find out a lot because as much as I've been saying that this guy's a grifter and he's been using like the right to like basically grow his presence online, he's been kind of pulling back from being conservative and all of a sudden starting to try to appeal more to liberals. And he flat out admits it in this video that the only thing he cares about is not what he says. It's just about chasing analytics and stuff of that nature. So this is a video he put out today or 2 days ago, and it's called An Apology to Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, and Geeks and Gamers. These are all guys that are like, you know, talk about culture, talk about like woke Hollywood, all this stuff. But these guys truly believe it. As where the Quartering, I mean, you'll see. He legit he scammed a fundraiser. Yeah, he said he built a coffee thing or something like that, and he like got in over his head, and now he's like in debt. Now, you want to talk about someone who is grifting off their audience? It's this guy. Not Brandon Buckingham. It's this fucking guy here. But let's take a look at this, okay? I think that this will be something interesting, and I'm probably going to laugh about this. Hey, Carla, over on Twitch. I'm probably going to laugh about this a lot because this is just fucking weird. Now, if I did this right, when I play this, it should automatically switch back over to reaction. I shouldn't have to even do it. I heard EG is grifting. I am grifting off my audience. It's exactly what I'm doing.
Jeremy here from the Quartering, and
hey, look at that! It does it all by itself.
Housekeeping video because you know when you're wrong, and you should own it. And public wrong of somebody should be righted also publicly. So a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, I was talking about kind of the woke Hollywood space. You know, that was and what used to be my bread and butter. You know, like. Brie Larson. Race swap.
Which basically is him saying like he doesn't give a shit about all that stuff that he said, and that he was only doing it because it was getting him views and it was appealing to people. That's the only reason he said it. This guy ain't about shit. He doesn't care. As long as he's getting views, he does not give a shit about what he's saying. So listen carefully and you'll hear that in what he says here.
Woke Batwoman, right? That's where many of my viewers came from. And I was discussing on a live stream how that's...
Yeah, we really are. We're starting to actually become a professional streamer. Look at that. I hands up. It automatically switched. I didn't have to touch the stream deck. It's doing it by itself. We've become what we've always wanted to be. Fake it till you make it, folks.
Has fallen off. It's basically dead. And instead of doing the correct thing, which would have been using Google Trend data to prove my point, I used channels like Critical Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and my own to illustrate just basically like, hey, look at this trend data, you know? It basically does match. If I show the Google Trend data, again, this is what I should have done. And if I go here, basically, if we look at searches for like woke movies, woke Hollywood, you can see it absolute peaked in 2023 and has basically been on a steady decline. And there's a little bump in December of 2025, but again, it continues to trend down.
I want you guys to pay attention to this because this is basically him saying that his opinions only come from what is looking good over interest and not about where he actually believes in this shit. That means that this guy has been grifting off the right and now he's grifting off the left and now he's thinking about whether or not he should go back and grift off the right. It all depends on what the Google trends say. He does not give a shit about what he says online. And I think this is pretty obvious right here. You know, it's one thing to chase trends or whatever, but it's another thing when you're going to co-sign everything that one political party says because you're looking for views. Then soon as like people get kind of annoyed with the this is how it always works, right? The pendulum swings both ways. 1 second it's swinging real hard to the right, the next second it swings back to the left. It all depends on how the economy is. Like right now, people don't have money to buy shit. People can't buy houses. The only time that you'll be able to buy a house with someone is if you're in a relationship. Good luck doing that on your own. It's not going to happen for you. So this guy is basically just announcing that he's been grifting off of the right for like the past however long. And then he's going to switch up and now he's going to go and try and grift off the left. But I don't think the left is just going to welcome this guy back with open arms. But the only thing is like he's pissing off everybody by just not being true to who he actually is. He's basically just being a douchebag and riding whatever's popular at the moment. What is woke? So woke is like a good example of this right now is there's a show that came out called Star Trek. It's like not in canon. It's like some kind of like spoof off show where it's like Starfleet Academy, and a lot of people are saying it's super woke because it's like there's gay people in the cast. Everybody's black, everybody's, a different color, everybody's, white or whatever. Like there's just a completely mixed race, which by the way, that doesn't bother me. A mixed race cast doesn't bother me at all. But a lot of people are saying that like they're just completely detaching from like Star Trek's built-in canon that's been created in that show's franchise history and just doing their own thing to push woke political ideologies, which is basically very far leftist beliefs. Personally, I don't care that much. If you're going to put a gay person in a show, it doesn't bother me. If you have black people in a show, it doesn't bother me. I do think that it's really strange a lot of the time, though, that now like Hollywood goes like out of their way to make sure that women aren't saved by men, which by the way, men love that shit, right? Every one of us dreams of a situation where we get to stand up and defend our girl. Like that's just what guys think. Like most guys want to be in a position where they get to go and be brave and save their girlfriend in a situation, So when you take that away and you just make the girls all saving themselves, which again doesn't bother me too bad. I mean, you want to talk about cool, badass girl characters. Ripley from Aliens was awesome. There's I thought they did a good job with Ahsoka in Star Wars. Some people disagree with me there, but I think that Ahsoka was a pretty cool character in Star Wars. But a lot of people are saying like this is all woke agenda stuff. Like if you look at Marvel, a lot of the Marvel characters now are predominantly female. Like it used to be like Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Falcon. Now Falcon is Captain America. They say that that's like a woke Hollywood choice, to hurry up and rush Captain America to be a black man, which again, I don't care if Captain America is black. What I do care about though, and what I think most fans care about is just staying true to like the source material. And I think that they were in such a rush to sell modern day comics that they rushed past all these amazing stories that they could have done in the comics for Marvel and rushed it to do the new like DEI, which it just is in short is just basically forcing diversity and pushing political opinions through movies. It's you see it in Hollywood all the time. It's why movies are so shitty. It's actually interesting because there's a Resident Evil Requiem, the new one. I think it's selling so well because you get to play as a scared woman, or you get to play as Ashcroft, who's like terrified of the situation she's in, which most people would, man or woman. If you're in that situation, you're going to be scared to death. And then you get to be Leon, who is this guy who's been dealing with this shit for so long that it's like nothing to him. And you get to defend her and save her several times throughout the thing. And guys love that shit. Guys love that shit, but they take it away because, female power and all that shit. That would be a good example of like woke Hollywood. So anyway, but this guy's been a big proponent of like shitting on that stuff and making it like a big joke and how it's crazy, which is fine if you're going to do that, but be consistent about it. Don't automatically switch up and because the Google Trends say you should switch up. This guy's so content brained that he doesn't have an opinion on his own. And now he went off on, he thought it was a good move to piss off the entire woke Hollywood crowd, which is Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, who, by the way, make excellent content. I am big fans of their content because at the end of the day, it's not even like the DEI stuff that I think really bothers them. It's the lost storytelling. If there was a good story with a gay man or a good story with like a woman who is just a total badass, a girl boss as they call it, I think they'd still enjoy it. I think what bothers them though is that they're sacrificing storytelling to push political agendas to try to like quill people who would attack them for having these opinions. And now this guy is obviously pointing out that he is all of a sudden switching off of being right-wing because that's what the Google Trends say he should do. And I think that it's pathetic. It's fucking sad. And, I don't care what your opinions are. At least stick to them because you believe. Like, you could be open-minded about an idea and maybe be like, you know what, maybe I am being a little weird about, like, trans people. Or maybe I am being a little weird about my opinion on this thing. And you kind of become a little more open-minded and your opinion might change over time. But that's not what this guy's doing. This guy's flat out saying the Google Trends are telling me that I should stop picking on trans people. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? I sent you instructions how to make sounds for OBS, YouTube in your DM. I'll have to check that out. I'm definitely trying to bring this YouTube stream up to snuff because we're also on Twitch. I'm thinking about whether or not I should go back to Kick, but we're on X too. But and obviously we're dual playing on YouTube on EG Lately Live, which I'm just trying my hardest to push this damn thing to 500 so that I can open up Super Chats and just do all my streams over there. But we're not getting there yet, so for some reason I cannot get past 430 subscribers on on that channel. So if you guys aren't subscribed to EG Lately Live, please go do it. All the people over there are incredibly mean for some reason. I get way nicer people on my main channel than I do over there. You would think that they like over there, you would think that everybody hates my guts, which they might, but I don't think that my takes are any different than they are here. I think it's just they're getting sent to different people. I heard EG doesn't care who people are as long as they're good bottom partners. Hell yeah. That's exactly what I was actually just thinking that at this moment. So, what was I about to do? I needed to switch something. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Part of me wants to put on, I forgot to put on ads. That used to be, back in the day, that used to be Tina's job. She would tell me, hey, EG, don't forget to put your ads on. And I'd never do it anymore. So I'm like kind of like really screwing myself out of income by not allowing ads on my streams because I have to go manually turn them on every time I go live, which I'm not exactly sure why I ever did that and turned it off in the first place. But I don't think I think there is a way that you could turn it on so that it's on every time. But anyway, let's get back to Crybaby over here, who is basically telling you he ain't about shit. He's just about whatever the trends say. And he's getting cooked in his comments for this, too, by the way. Rightfully so. I mean, I cannot think of a bigger reason to not listen to someone than to say, oh, my opinions are based off Google Trends. That's how you know I'm authentic, is because I read Google Trends, and then I form my opinions from that.
That's what I should have done. Or just used my own channel to say, hey, these videos don't really bang anymore. People are kind of tired of this. But what I did do is I thought of all the other big channels in the space, Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Critical Drinker. I brought up all of their analytics to show essentially this trend data, which I could have just showed if I wasn't being so just in the moment. I was like, well, let me use Social Blade and look at all these channels and see my channel peaked here, went down, they peaked here, went down, they peaked here, then everybody basically going down. Well, what I didn't think about was that these fellas would feel like I was putting them out on blast or saying that their content wasn't good or that their channels were dying.
Essentially, what they're saying, in his opinion, is that they're beating a dead horse at this point. And the difference between this shallow ass motherfucker and those guys are that they actually believe the shit they say. Like, they're not just saying it for views like you are, Jeremy. They care about like this stuff. They care about comics and stories and how important they are to like the overall narratives. There's so many amazing Marvel stories that got completely skipped over just to rush Falcon out as Captain America, which, by the way, a lot of people think that Bucky should have been Captain America, not Sam. Sam should have got it after Bucky for sure, but I think the fact that they rushed him out and while you still have a young Chris Evans is insane to me. Then you kill off Tony Stark. Like you got like Spider-Man, I think. Hawkeye, they're not sure if they're even going to bring Hawkeye back because Jeremy Renner got hurt saving someone's life and Disney won't even bring him back. It's fucked up. The whole thing's fucked up. What's up, Cowboy fan? Good to see you, man.
And that wasn't what I intended at all. But I understand that may have been what happened or, the outcome of it. And it was not my intention. And so there were some hurt feelings. Apparently,
this isn't making it worse.
I'm sorry for that.
Making it better.
I didn't. It was never my intention to say like, oh, Nerdrotic's content isn't good anymore, or Critical Drinker's content isn't good anymore. I still enjoy and watch both of them. It's just that the entire space itself is different, and
because there's a bunch of creators like who's that girl? Jester Bell or whatever her name is. Like girls like that who've come in to the space, or I guess creators like that, because it's not the fact that she's a woman. Because there's plenty of like I love that girl Snarky J Cosplay. She's kind of in that circle and she does great work. She's awesome. But this girl Jester Bell does it, and it just comes off completely fake and fraudulent. Like she's watched a couple Nerdrotic videos and was like, yeah, this is my opinions now because Nerdrotic said it. Has nothing to do with their actual belief in it, like Nerdrotic, like Critical Drinker, who eat, sleep, and breathe comics. Like, this is what they care about. This is what they grew up on, and they want to see it treated like the way that they were in the books. They want like those. They want their characters in the comics to look like the characters in the movies. They just want source material to be treated well, and that's it. I hate with a burning passion that they killed off Tony Stark. I was spoiled about that, and it made me not watch the movie. Yeah, I mean, I think at that point though, I mean, they had to bring him back though, so he's Doctor Doom. That's not a spoiler. That's all over the internet, by the way. But I think that that's like why people say that Endgame was peak Marvel, because it was Tony. I mean, you have to understand, like, Tony had all these visions about this coming apocalypse where he kept having these visions of all his friends dead. And it all resorts back to the first Avengers movie. And it all came to fruition when he finally picked up those stones and was able to be like, I am Iron Man. And then snapped and then saved everybody. I cannot think of a better way to send out Tony Stark, which is fine. I have no problem with Tony Stark being killed off. But then you get rid of Steve Rogers at the same time. You put out Thor, Love and Thunder. Thor is a god who's supposed to live way longer than everybody else. Woke is trying to delete identity. Yeah, it's kind of fair to say. Everything's pronouns, everything is, which is fine. If you want me to, like, if you come up to me and you say, hey, these are my pronouns, I prefer you use them if you're cool to me, I'm gonna use your pronouns. I'm not gonna like protest you and be like, I refuse to use your pronouns. That's fine. If that's what makes you happy and you're being respectful to me, I'll be respectful right back. I think the reason that people get like so up in arms about it is when people like freak the fuck out if you don't use the proper pronouns. And it's like, I'm not okay. What are we doing here, folks? Like, what are we doing here? And that's why there was like this whole push. But now, just like as I said before, this. No, I'm not reading that, Carla. My pronouns are not bot and tum. All right, stop. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. But the pendulum swings all the way to the right. It overcorrects, swings back to the left. So I think right now it's swinging back to the left. But I think that at the same time, though, well, actually, I think right now it's probably somewhere in the middle because I don't think that the like far left or the left is gaining ground or anything. It just this always happens. I don't like the way the country's running right now. Let's try the other side. If I don't like what they're doing, I'm going to go back. I'm going to try the other side till one of these sides figures out what the hell they're doing, right? And I think right now not a lot of people feel very comfortable in the economy, and I don't blame them, personally. I don't blame them. But with that said, going to Google Trends to develop your opinions has got to be one of the worst things I've ever heard someone do, ever. And you could see this guy because he's been going after Trump more, which is fine. Go after Trump if you want. I do that too. But don't do it because the Google Trends tell you to do it. Do it because you disagree with what he's saying. Especially if you built an audience off of it. Especially if you've been selling Trump cookbooks. Like, that's really cringy shit, man. That's really, really cringy shit.
Has, gone down. And even if we look at, if we just look at, woke Hollywood, woke movies, if I add let's just say SJW, let's look at just SJW data, right? This also, you can see it peaked in 2021, had a little bit of peak back in 2023, but basically it's at an all-time low in November. Again, something must have happened around the end of November or December where SJW made a little bit of a comeback. But remember, this isn't 100 score on Google Trends is when it was the most popular. It's not like, this doesn't represent hundreds of millions or total impressions or total views.
By the way, also, we're at a point now where everybody's views are down on YouTube. It's not like it's just affecting some people. It's like most people are getting back into the swing of things. During the pandemic, there was this huge jump in viewership because nobody could do anything. Now I think a lot of times people just listen to podcasts in the background while they do stuff because they can do stuff now. It's not like if you've noticed, I've kind of cut back a lot on the visual presentations in a lot of my videos, mainly because I don't think that many people take the time to sit and watch YouTube as much as they kind of have it on in the background. Speaking about cookbooks, FPS Diesel bought them to review them on stream, and he never got one. Wow, he had to get I believe that 100% because Jeremy is a money grubbing little bastard, and that's all he cares about is money, 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 money. Look how many. I want to just show you guys this real quick because I do think this is fucking insane. Where am I at in this video? 4:06. I'm only 4 minutes in. Good God. It's only 11-minute video though, but I want to show you guys his channel real quick so you guys can just see how many videos this guy puts out. 51 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 1 day ago. See, this is the only time where this is going to suck when I have this thing going because I don't have to keep clicking back in just to get it to come back. But just look at all these videos and how quickly they come out together. Insanity. And that's all in 2 days right here. This whole first top 2 rows are within 2 days of each other. That's all this guy does. He just mass produces shitty content so that he can get so he can monetize as much and get as much ad revenue as he can from
what's up, everyone? Jeremy here.
So he can get as much content as he can from the ads that he puts on his videos. It's sad. It's really kind of weird and gross. You can tell this guy doesn't really care much about what he says, more or less about what he gets from making these videos. It was a while back, but I can believe he did not get the food one. He got the drink one. And I'm sure the drink one was probably just shitty too. He probably just made up a bunch of random drinks, or he went and copied drinks that are already popular and then just renamed them. Because that's the kind of shit this guy would do. But yeah, I'm not a really big fan of this guy at all. I think that he is such a grifter, such a freaking loser. It's guys like him that make it so guys like me, if they're not making content every single day, then they don't get picked up by the algorithm, because schmucks like this are putting out a video every 2 minutes. And not only that, but it's, again, even if he was just overly putting out content, okay, whatever, get your bag. But it's also the fact that this guy's clearly announcing to his entire audience that the only thing he cares about is Google Trends and not about what he's actually saying. And that to me makes you, you have no guts at that point. You have no freaking guts.
You look at, a lot of this other, we can even look at DEI. Let's look at DEI, right? That was hotness for a while. This is what I should have been showing. Look at this, DEI, very, very popular for about 2 months and then completely dropped off. What's popular now, I'm not really sure. But what I am sure about is I definitely didn't mean to imply that, their channels were suffering because of anything that they were doing. And so when...
Yeah, but what you're suggesting is that they need to drop the woke Hollywood thing because it's not good for their analytics, when in reality, the only reason that you care about it is because you're all about money and your dumb business, as where they actually care about the culture war that they're fighting. Like, that's the difference. And I think that that's why they're mad at you, that you exposed them, or that you tried to expose them for being grifters when they actually believe in this shit. I think that's where they're pissed off. I don't think that they're pissed off because you mentioned that their views are down. I don't think that matters. I think they're like, why do you want us to stop fighting the fight that we truly believe in, which is just kind of more like traditional American values and shit like that, because your views aren't getting shit. Like, I don't get what you're trying to apply here, quartering, right? Not everybody is as content brained as you are. A lot of us live in the real world, right? I don't have that American flag up behind me because I hate America, I'll tell you that much. But I'm also not like anti-gay or anti-trans or anybody who's on, or at least not far left, probably can see that that's the case, because I was a theater kid, right? I was around like the goofiest of outgoing kids when I grew up. Like, the theater kids were my people, right? So I'm obviously not going to randomly like turn my back on them. I've had gay directors, like they're some of the greatest people I've ever met. So I would never like shame. I don't even think that really Republicans even like hate gay people, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of more like they don't really get the whole trans thing, and that's because it's, even though it's not really new, it's just something that some people just don't really feel super comfortable with yet. I don't really have too strong of opinions on it. Like, if you're gonna piss next to my 11-year-old daughter, though, I'm just hopefully asking you're not gonna whip your dick out in front of her. You know what I mean? Like, that's where my concerns are when it comes to that shit. Other than that, dress how you want, live the life that makes you happy. But I think most people also were mad about the pronouns thing and getting constantly accused of being a Nazi or whatever it is that the flavor of the week is for one of the sides. Like, that word means nothing anymore. That word, pedo, doesn't mean anything anymore, because, and these are real travesties, because those people deserve to have spotlights shined on them like no other, right? If you're actually a real Nazi, people don't like you, right? But now they're saying that everybody's a Nazi. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I think it's stupid, right? I think all this makes no sense whatsoever. And I think that people are starting to realize that. And I also think that people they just don't care. They feel like that Trump's in the office. They won the culture war. They don't need to rage and try to fight to continue it, right? So now what they're trying to do is fix Hollywood. And that's going to end up killing Hollywood. It's because people aren't spending money on movie tickets, right? Why, if I'm somebody who believes in good old fashioned American values, why would I want to go watch a movie that is going to make me feel like that is something that I should be ashamed of. So that'll eventually kill Hollywood. These studios don't have unlimited money, right? They owe it to their shareholders to make money. But you're also seeing how many of these studios are selling to other studios. Like you're watching Netflix almost acquired Warner Brothers. And why is that? Because Warner Brothers went all in trying to make DC Universe like as good as Marvel. But what they failed to do is create characters that people feel invested in. The only person that they actually made us feel invested in was Superman. And everybody loved Henry Cavill's Superman. Now he's gone, right? You didn't bring him back for the new thing, but you kept John Cena, so it's obviously possible. I do like the move from Jason Momoa's Aquaman to Lobo. I think that's gonna be awesome, you know. And hopefully this ends up making it so we get good movies again, where the storytelling is the popular piece and just good cinema, and we don't have to worry about having politics shoved down our throats. This is what Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and all them guys stand for. Not Google Trends like you, Jeremy. I think that this is so incredibly telling about what this guy believes in. You see why I like this? Now when I get to go on my rants, I'm not in the corner. You get to see the fire come through the screen. I love it. I'm here for it.
A couple of them got really mad about it instead of like saying, oh yeah, I guess maybe they did think that I was putting them out on blast. I just kind of brushed it off as people being butthurt, which is stupid and wrong. Because
I think that right now he's probably feeling the pressure of losing a big chunk of his audience, and I think that's why he's making this. What's up, Mad Daddy Media now? New name every time you come on. Man. But yeah, this is good to see you, brother. This is basically like the worst thing ever. Like, I don't know. This is such a grift, dude. This is so pathetic. That this is what I think that he realized. First off, coming out and acting like these guys were all butthurt that Jeremy from the Quartering doesn't like them is probably not making them like you anymore. But I think what happened is he saw his subscribers go down, and that's when he started getting worried. I don't think he cared until he saw his subscribers going down. Because this guy has the most fabricated audience ever. He has 2 million views, and not all of his videos crack 100K. You should be cracking 100K easily if you have 2 million subscribers. Can't make moonshine right now. Okay, I got you. When are you making media then? Make some media, Mad Daddy. What's up, Kaylee? Welcome back. We're just watching Jeremy the Quartering just being a total grifter.
I feel
like maybe if somebody, pulled up my channel in front of 10,000 people and was like, hey, look at this, he's fallen off. I'd probably feel some kind of way about that. I didn't say that.
You have fallen off, though, dude. You have fallen off because everybody's starting to see what you're really about, and it ain't about like the wars that you've claimed you've cared about. The only thing you care about is your freaking bottom dollar, your bottom line. You don't give a shit about half the stuff you preached and built your entire career on. Which, by the way, I don't even know how this guy got a career. I don't think like he's smart. I think he's just like a total like grifter, a user.
But I 100% understand how people could have taken that. And I seriously wish nothing but the best for them. And believe me, nobody wants it's this double-edged sword where, sure, there are things like the Starfleet Academy, which is woke trash. But there's just not as much kind of woke.
Yeah, he's used to be DSB, Daddy Scambaits. But now he's Mad Daddy. He's a madder father. He's not just Daddy Scambait, and he's Mad Daddy. And he's making media, baby. Who cares more about bottom? E.g., probably Quartering. I'd probably say Quartering probably cares more about bottoming than me. Look at that mouth. It was made for sex.
Nonsense out there to discuss. It was great when there was for business, but it wasn't great for Hollywood. Rings of Power was a flop, but as I look back now, it's like, damn, it would have been cool if Rings of Power was good and not some girl power fantasy.
Yeah, no shit, dude. What are you even on about? Why does that matter now? Like, this makes no sense. Everybody knows that Rings of Power was a total shit show, right? They have the Sam Marillion. It could have been great, but they ended up picking one of the most boring characters that is not like that character at all. They completely took all these characters that people really cared about and then shat all over them. That's why people don't like Rings of Power. I don't understand what this has to do with you being a total grifter, though. It looks like he's just like desperately trying to reclaim some type of credibility in their eyes, or take backhanded shots at them because he is feeling the pressure from their audiences right now, who probably all mass exited his channel. Nerdrotic is probably one of the best entertainers on YouTube right now. His content is very thoughtful, very well put together. You could tell the guy truly cares about the shit he talks about. And it's not because it's just woke garbage. It's because he cares about the source material, as I said before. And even at the very end of his videos, he always ends it with, if you enjoyed this, thanks for watching. And if you haven't enjoyed it, thanks for staying for this long. Like, this is his way of being like, if you're hate watching this, thanks for being here anyway. Like, that's, in my opinion, I think that's awesome that he does that. Now, the Critical Drinker is a little more, a little more scandalous, but I think that Nerdrotic's a pretty good guy. I think he just doesn't like seeing what's happening to the characters that he grew up loving. And I think that's, at the end of the day, I think that's where the narrative comes from him. As where the Quartering does not give a shit about any of these characters. He just cares about what can he talk about that's going to get him some fucking views. And I think that that's pathetic and sad.
Starfleet or Starfleet Academy would have been cool if it wasn't all DEI nonsense. And he would
probably hasn't watched a single episode of the show, or he's probably only seen what Nerdrotic said about it. I don't think this guy's watched a single episode of that. I'm gonna be the first to admit I haven't watched an episode of that, but I do like watching Nerdrotic shit on it. But I don't feel qualified to talk about Starfleet Academy because I haven't watched it. Plus, I'm not really a big Star Trek fan, more Star Wars guy myself. But I even put out an Ahsoka review that nobody watched that was praising the show. But if I put out a review basically shitting on Ahsoka, I probably would have got more views. But I actually liked Ahsoka. I thought it was a good show.
Oh, well, maybe Hollywood's listening. I don't actually think that's the case. I mean, I think that's part of it. But I think that Hollywood has just gone back to making a bunch of remakes and safer stuff. Now, there's been some good movies that have come out in Hollywood over the past 4 or 5 years that I think are great. With The Holdovers, it was a great movie. With Paul Giamatti is in that, I think. I thought Rental Family with Brendan Fraser was very, very good. I thought The Whale with Brendan Fraser was really, really good. I thought there's been more good movies.
I don't understand. I guess because he's overweight, he likes The Whale. I'm so confused. Like, those are the movies that he said were really good. Like, that's not the point. They don't talk about those movies. They talk about pop culture. The Whale wasn't really pop culture. It was like an indie film that got really, really well received because it was like Brandon Fraser came out and did a Me Too thing and was able to fight his way back into the Hollywood rooms. And most people like Brendan Fraser. He's like a very beloved actor. I don't understand. If those are the best movies in the past 4 years, we are fucked, dude. Like, for real. That is not great. Digging the new on-screen chat display. Thank you. I made that myself. I was like, I kind of thought it'd be cool if it was like a piece of paper that I ripped out and it's like where you guys are all writing your notes. I thought it was fun. Just me, though.
Movies, which I wish was as profitable or as interesting to people to talk about. When I talk about something being awesome,
yeah, it was a great movie. The Whale was a great movie. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just basically saying if that's the best that Hollywood's got, then that's not enough, because you're talking about. I thought Fantastic Four was actually really good. I'll give the roses where Marvel deserves them. Fantastic Four was really good. It was probably the best Fantastic Four movie that they've made so far, but it's too little, too late. But when Nerdrotic says that Hollywood's starting to listen. And Jeremy says that's not the case, that they're just going back to making remakes. Like, what you're missing out on is that the Fantastic Four actually didn't have to make the Human Torch look like he does in the comics. Thing looks like he does in the comics. Like, they're starting to realize that if they want to make money, they need to make them look like the people that are in the comics, and they need to make sure that the comics are good. I can confirm ads are on. Thank you, Blue Jay. Like you could always go over and watch on EG Lately Live though too, and not have to deal with ads as well. That's just my secret way of pushing people over to that channel too. But either way, if you guys sit through the ads too, that helps me out big time. So thank you.
Awesome. It's really hard for people to care about that. But also, when you've been talking about, woke Hollywood or this, that, or the other thing for 4 years, eventually people do just move on. And, so the purpose of this video is, first of all, to clarify my statements to those guys and do so publicly, because that's what you should.
He literally just insulted them again right there. If you talk, all you do is talk about woke Hollywood. He's a film critic. That's what he likes. He likes talking about films, dude. He likes talking about nerd stuff. His name's Nerdrotic. What do you mean people are going to move on? What do you even talk about, Jeremy? You talk about literally anything that is popular. Anything. Just to get views. That man is like, only talks about comic book shit. And like studio stuff and film stuff. Like a lot of people are into that shit. It's very weird that he's still managing to be insulting towards them while he's making 0 points on like what he did. He's like, I was wrong. But of course people aren't gonna like what you're doing. Like you're doing it like, shut up, dude. What are you talking about?
Private apologies for private transgressions and public apologies for public transgressions. I should have been more open to understanding, hey, this is what
he should have sent. I heard Nerdrotic is not a nerd. He is a nerd. He's definitely a nerd. You can tell by the glasses and stuff. But he also was in jail for like 10 years, I think, for like burglarizing houses. His story's a lot like mine, actually. He was, and he read one of my chats out on, because I watch him all the time. He read one of my chats out, and I was like, yo, dude, it's kind of cool when we get our shit together and people start actually listening to us, right? When we're clean. And he was like, yeah, that's awesome, dude. He's like, keep up the good work and stuff. And he gave me all the credit because I said, thanks. He was one of my motivators too for starting a channel. I don't know what it is with guys with nerds in the name, but I always seem to watch them. But he said, keep up, don't give me credit for what you've done. Everything you've done is like what you've done. So I thought that was really cool that he said that. But this guy is like, he should have sent if he really cared about his relationship with those guys, he would have sent them all personal messages, not made a video where he's still trashing them just backhandedly while he's acting like he's trying to be kind.
I don't wear crew necks. And I hate turtlenecks, man. A turtleneck is like being strangled by a really weak guy.
It sure is.
All day.
At the Daniels Crew super chatted $2. Still here supporting EG.
Thank you, Daniels Crew. Always love to see it. And turtlenecks are terrible. I think we can all agree. Like they suck. Like, who wants to be strangled by a weak man? Except for Kaylee. I think she said she was kind of into that. Which, hey, we don't yuck your yum. If that's what you into, that's what you into. But again, he just said why I called him out publicly. That's why I'm making this public apology. No, you're making this for views. You're trying to drum up drama between you and them because they have massive channels and they're still doing really well and you're falling off. Let's be realistic. 2 million subscribers. This video should be have way more views than 80K in 2 days. 80K for a 2 million channel, not great. Like I have a video that I made about John Walker that is at 70. I think it's at 75, approaching 80. I think it's like the highest video on my whole channel. So if I could do it with 5K, you should be doing it more consistently when you have 2 million people that get shoved your content down their throat.
As opposed to being like, oh, they're being weird or something like that. But it does open up the bigger conversation of kind of what is this space even anymore. The kind of the woke video game battle has been won, so to speak. A lot of the companies that were pushing out a lot of the woke video game nonsense, they've gone out of business.
I don't know what the one on the bottom that says not working. I have no. I just made this today. I can't even read what the bottom says. I know that one's the super chats. One's like the recent subscriber. I don't know what the other two are. I can't see it. It's not big enough. I'll have to wait until I have to. Maybe it could be like a social media link or something that I just didn't put in there. Listen, one step at a time towards professional streaming. Okay, it's not gonna happen overnight. Even though I tried to make it happen overnight. I'm just trying to do my best for you guys. What the fuck? What the hell? I know I'm gonna have to hear from Clayman now. I gotta hear from y'all too. Oh, shit.
Now, I'd rather they would have made good video games, and we still do get great video games occasionally. You know, Expedition 33 was very, very good. I don't know how the new Resident Evil is.
Fucking awesome, and you would know that if you paid attention, because he claims he's a gamer. This guy just grifts off of any community out there while all he does is spend 24/7 sitting behind his computer and talking into a microphone. This guy's got no experience with reality. All he does all day long is sit on his microphone and talk. How can you possibly know what's going on in the world when that's all you do? It makes no sense. Like, Nerdrotic actually gets off to go watch these videos that he does videos on so that he knows what he's talking about. You don't. You just sit there probably reading Google Analytics, hoping, praying that you're the next Mr. Beast, which you never will be because you're not authentic enough. Yeah, I don't think I've ever got a tip, if I'm being honest. That's probably why it's not filled. So instead of a super chat, Daniel's Crew, if you put another one in, make sure it's a tip so you can fill your name in there too. That I look better. I'm not a professional streamer. Someone give me a $1. Give me a $1 so I can get that so you guys can see I know what I'm doing. All right. The fuck.
People say it's pretty good, but it feels like
looking
we're
like the
getting
quartering
more
over here.
Good games now. Arc Raiders, very, very popular. Not my style of game. Same thing with the movies. TV.
This guy probably hasn't played a single fucking game. Guaranteed. This guy hasn't played a game in years because he never gets off the computer. My guess is the second one is the latest super chat, or third one is latest membership, and fourth is latest subscriber. Just the tip. Yeah, just give me just the tip, just to see how it feels, and we'll go from there. And you always know where it goes from there, don't you? Yes, you do, you dirty dogs.
Yeah, TV is generally filled with woke trash, but it's so spread out now between, you know, Netflix and Peacock and Hulu and Paramount Plus and Apple TV. It's actually hard to have any cultural moments anymore, which I find
not true. Are you kidding me? Stranger Things on Netflix, when it was the last season, that was all everybody talked about. Like even Marvel, like, although I will admit, apparently they came out with a show that I didn't even know they came out with, Wonder Man, which I'm very shocked about. He's not beating the bottom out. I don't want to beat the bottom allegations, all right? I've accepted my fate, all right? Y'all want me to bottom? I'll fucking bottom for you. I'll bottom better than anybody you've ever seen. How about that? Yeah, you like that? Call me a bottom. I don't know what's into me tonight. It's Friday night. I got a nap in before I went live, so I got energy today, I guess. But I don't know. This all seems so weird, doesn't it? It seems very grifty. Very Mr. Beast studying that. Like, I don't know. This is all stupid, dude. This is all stupid. How do I do that? I don't know how you do tips. I honestly don't. I guess in that little plus thing, you just put, I think you tip on videos, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. We broke it. I'm doing the Chud Logic lash out at the chat thing that he does all the time. Just yelling at y'all. It's fun. I love my chat. And that's all I got to say about that.
Perhaps the most interesting. If we talk about like real cultural moments in video games and in entertainment these days, there are so few of them. I mean, Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, that was a big video game, big cultural moment, a lot of news.
Notice he never played it, though. He never played it. He just said, cultural moment, big news. All because that's all he looks at is the news.
Crewnecks. And I hate turtlenecks, man. A turtleneck is like being strangled by a really weak guy.
It sure is. Sure is.
All day.
All
At
day.
the Daniels Crew super chatted $2. I don't know how to tip.
That's okay. I've heard many people say that when I was in the wait service. Get that? It's a joke. Nobody tips. I don't know how to tip. Sorry. No, you don't. You don't have to tip. I'm just kidding, Daniel's crew. You don't have to do that, and you don't have to give me $2 telling me that either. I'll read it in chat. But you are the best. You're just so sweet.
Name the last movie that, like, quote unquote, everybody was talking about.
Snow White.
Black Little Mermaid.
Oh my God, the most freaking brain dead take ever. Little Mermaid came out years ago, dude. You don't remember the whole Snow White thing and just being absolutely trashed? What about that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, One Fight After Another? I'll be back. My hair is done drying. Okay, absolutely. One Fight After Another, which was kind of a left-leaning movie, to be honest. I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was funny. I think Leonardo DiCaprio was hilarious in it. He's like this older guy who's like who was like in the revolution when he was younger, and he got mixed up with all these people, and then like now he's old and he just doesn't feel like dealing with all of their antics, and you know, he's kind of almost like a boomer trying to still be like really into the leftists. It's like funny. I thought it was a good movie. There's so many good movies that have come out, and this guy hasn't watched any of them. And the fact that he went with Little Mermaid, and he didn't even refer to it, he called it Black Little Mermaid. It just shows you how brain dead this man actually is. To be fair, who wants to remember the Snow White? Well, he's I know, but he said what movie came out that was a big cultural moment? What about Wicked? What about all the crazy shit that the two leads of Wicked were doing with each other? That was weird too. Right? I can't think of a movie that's come out that has been like, oh, we all have to go and see that, right? I can't think of one. I think right now, though, the cultural moment is Resident Evil 9. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's playing it. Everybody's doing a playthrough of it, right? Everybody's going back and playing through all of the Resident Evil games, which, by the way, I saw Charlie do that, and I thought that'd be really fun if I played through every single Resident Evil game ever, but I just don't think I stream enough to be able to do that without it taking up, like, the next however long. But it also leaked that they're remaking Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil Code Veronica, so it's in first person mode, or Resident Evil 0, so it's in first person mode, which I think is going to be sweet, because then we're going to get VR Resident Evil 1 where I get to run around Spencer Mansion in first person mode. I cannot wait. And they also, through Praydog's mods that he makes for the Resident Evil engine, is the mod that I use when we get ready to go into Resident Evil 8 in a minute, is the mods that they already have one out for Resident Evil 9. It hasn't been out a week, and they already have a mod for it so that you can play it in VR. Although the only problem is that you don't have the hands yet. So I might wait until I play Resident Evil 9 on stream so that I can play it in VR and you can see like my hands and I can use my hands and stuff. Epic movies are definitely far and few. Yeah, I mean every studio is looking for that epic movie. But the problem is these people live in a bubble and they don't know how to give people what they want, and that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Maybe, the last TV show that everyone was talking about,
Stranger Things.
Was it 4 years ago when Lord of the Rings came?
Oh my fucking God, dude. I can't with this guy. Is he serious? This is your finger on the pulse of culture, guys. Who the hell watches him? Yeah, that's why I'm not worried too much about Meta closing down shop on their VR, because I know the community is going to step up and they're going to make their own shit, and it's going to be epic because we don't have to live within the guidelines of a studio. We just make what we want to see. I think they're going to do a GTA VR. Well, I think somebody already tried making a GTA Grand Theft Auto VR, and Rockstar nipped it in the butt because they're just a bunch of fucking money-grubbing jackasses over there. So many games I play with mods when possible. Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun playing with mods on.
Came out and was a disaster, and then everyone just moved on. The Tiger King, I suppose Squid Games would probably be something. I think that
this guy is so fucking brain dead, dude. It honestly blows my mind that he's able to get 2 million subscribers. But then again, being stupid online really takes you far these days.
Cultural critique is in a weird spot right now. It's both exciting because more good stuff is coming out.
Like what?
And it's also a little odd because you don't really know what you're watching anymore. You know, stuff is
No, you don't know what you're watching, Jeremy. The rest of us do, right? Tulsa King, like Nerdrotic. You say you watch him, but then you ignore all the shows. We're just gonna act like Yellowstone didn't happen. That was a very big, popular show. Landman is a huge show right now. I mean, there's so many different shows out there that people are watching. Literally decided to play Stardew Valley again, and I was like, I'll add a couple quality life mods, 100 plus mods later. I think the mods are fun. I do. I know that Stormfall, she's like a booby streamer who's very funny. She actually plays with a lot of mods, but she won't tell like her chat that she's playing a game with a mod, and she'll have like Shrek be Mr. X in Resident Evil, which I think is hilarious. You know, those are fun. That's when mods are fun, when you can sneak in like a character that the chat's not expecting to come running through the wall. I know was out there to watch junk. I mean, there is, but there is good shows. There's a lot of people, like I watch shows typically at work. I'm usually into anime. Like I go get caught up with like One Punch Man. And I know that Jeremy's not going to be like, oh, One Punch Man. I mean, that's great though to me. Like I thought One Punch Man season 3 felt like it was way too short, but it was still a really, really good season. But I guess he doesn't count anime as real entertainment. Listening to this guy's voice is like Rush Limbaugh on Ludes. Yo, Rajir said Ludes. They don't even make that drug no more. But you ain't wrong, Rajira. You ain't wrong. This guy is just a complete lost cause. He wonders why nobody watches him anymore, because he's competing with all these up-and-coming streamers who are way more entertaining than him, and he can't figure out why nobody wants to watch him anymore. This is like what your crazy uncle watches. He's a big fan of the quartering. You ever watch that Jeremy from the quartering? That guy's awesome. He's super based. And he's watching him. He's just over here. He's like, I don't know. What's on TV? I'll tell you what was a great show. Matlock? I was a big fan of Matlock. You ever watch Murder, She Wrote? Now that, high quality cinema. Like, that's what he sounds like right now. Get off my lawn, kids!
Less overt with the wokeness stuff, but you just kind of know that it's always there bubbling under the surface, and it's always there in Hollywood. And the second that, let's say, Trump's not in office, it's going to come back. It's going to come back with a vengeance, and that's just the way this cycle works, right? If we look at when...
And then you're not... When you start talking about it again, and nobody watches you because they know what you're actually about, and those guys have never stopped talking about it, they're going to reap the rewards and you won't, quartering. How about that? Because people care about consistency. It's a big thing in the world. Like, that's where you develop your most loyal people, is by being consistent and being true to who you are and how you feel, and not just saying, like, I don't think you guys would watch me if all I talked about was just the latest trend, or like the most like the hot topic that everybody's talking about, you know? Like it like most of the time Moist Critical finds topics that no one's talked about, and he'll be like one of the first people to, or like somebody from his chat or community will bring it to him and he'll talk about it. Asmongold, like these guys all make stories go viral because they have that power. Same thing with Nerdrotic. Do you think anybody would care about the Starfleet Academy show if it wasn't for Nerdrotic making videos about it? No, I don't think they would.
This stuff peaked, right? Who was in office? You know? We talk about all-time high 2021 for SJWs. Woke Hollywood all-time high was 2023. Joe Biden was in office.
This guy's grasping so hard.
Trump takes over in January 2025, and it's been basically not on people's minds. Although I wonder what is going on with this weird SJW spike here. I should go back and look at what happened in December. I'm trying to remember.
I can rhyme all the time. Who knows what I can't even remember what happened in December. God, I feel like I'm losing brain cells listening to this guy. I cannot wait to hop into Resident Evil. But I wanted to talk about this because I was watching this earlier and I was like, dude, this guy cannot be fucking serious. We're going to take a look at the comments, though, because we can have a couple chuckles.
Interesting. And this kind of data, I think, is more interesting to viewers than pulling up a particular channel and putting them on blast, which, again, wasn't my intent, but I apologize. I think all those guys do great work.
Sucking on the teat now after all the backhanded compliments you gave him earlier. Now all of a sudden, I love them guys. Those guys are amazing.
And I wish them all the best. And so hopefully that can be the end of, I don't want to be feuding with anybody publicly or privately,
yes, he does.
especially when we agree on 99% of stuff.
Yes, he does. He needs a feud like it's going out of business, or else he wouldn't have made this video. The problem is there's a lot of crossover with the audience, and he doesn't want to lose them.
And
but he needs the views.
That's just where I'm at. So apologize to you guys, and if you felt any kind of way about it. I'm not saying all of them like reached out and spurred out or anything like that, but some of them.
That's exactly what you said. They were all angry, I believe you said. Some of them were super mad. That is a way of making it. You're embarrassing them by saying they were all mad about what you said. This guy cannot. I mean, he might. I don't know. The tism might be strong with him.
Pretty mad, and when you're wrong, and so that's what I'll say. So let's get back on the news cycle for the day. I've got lots of interesting stuff, so I hope you'll enjoy that.
I don't think they will. Look, he's still got Nancy Pelosi as his middle thing. You guys can't see it because it went over there. But look, he's on Big Shoot, Rumble, Odyssey, Gilded, Minds. He's on every fucking platform that exists. This guy is all in on everything. Because if this doesn't work for him, I don't think he's ever going to go back to work. He's just going to, he desperately just clinging on to any type of fame he has here. Any type of fame. Let's read some of the comments here. The first one is, the drama is not knowing there was any drama. True. Because those guys didn't mention it. I think he just did all this to put himself in the conversation with those guys. I'm too employed for this drama. Fair. Apology, brand apology. When you're so early, you have no idea what the drama even is. I don't think coverage of the woke stupidity is anywhere near done, nor am I tired of Critical Drinker, Despero, Nerdrotic. I think they're going to be covering the woke stupidity for a couple more years. Absolutely. Yeah, it was very articulate. That guy's charisma is off the chart. He could do I don't know who would want to buy his OnlyFans, but someone maybe. Maybe they'll pay him not to do an OnlyFans. Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, and Dave Cullen are three of my favorite channels. I watched them every video they release. I want a coffee brand coffee ad on an apology video. Damn it, when you're so early, you don't even know what's going on. They reclassify woke and DEI to make the graph lull into lowering your guard. 199 stand up. Now, for all I know, I'm falling victim to this guy, and he's just doing this so that I'll cover his channel. He pulls one Charizard, and now he's a changed man. Gary and the Drinker are great guys. It's big of you to admit your mistake. Oh, my God. What are the replies to this? It wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate lies. Get it right. It says the deliberate liar. Drinker has become a bit of a money grubber, too. Or massive hypocrites, actually. After politics invaded entertainment, politics itself became the entertainment. That's fair. That's actually a really great quote right there. Why are you guys even fighting? You're on the same side. Wokeness in entertainment is directly linked to wokeness in politics, as well as corporate wokeness. It's all one big disease, and if we fight amongst ourselves... First off, I'm not even convinced these guys are mad at him. I think he's making this all up. Or they see that he's just a grifter and don't want anything to do with him, and now he thinks that that's the reason why, because he went through their shit. Jeremy, those bumps and dips are when supposedly big moves come out, bud. And Jeremy liked that. He's crawling back. He's sorry. Sad, pathetic. Triangle sounds? I don't get that comment. Dinner bell, I guess. A lot of people have pointed out the apathy, but there's also the fact that you don't need to search for something if you know where to find it already. They search and see those things and then subscribe and don't have to Google search it anymore. Those channels are still going gangbusters. It's the ones that talk in circles and repeat coffee advertisements on their way out. think he's talking about Jeremy here. Because this guy talks about his coffee brand coffee like fucking every 5 seconds because he's so desperate. He's spineless. He's apologizing. His pulls are bad. He still doesn't bring up the super chat membership component, which is where the other guys make their bank. These guys stream live most of the time, maybe only put a video out once a week. Their models on how they operate here on YouTube are almost complete opposite of each other. Yeah, Jeremy doesn't stream. He just sits there and makes videos. Probably because he wants to go ahead and delete anything that he doesn't like that he said. As where Nerdrotic just lives and dies being live. A lot of this downturn is because the number of movies and shows have decreased over the years. Many have been canceled. Fair point. Also, the term shift. It's hard to put metrics to things like this, especially when those groups have other things like elections to focus on and other topics in that area. Geeks and Gamers asked why you made a video apologizing instead of just calling them. It's a great point. Can't run ads on a phone call. No, you cannot. He explained that since he made the statement publicly, he's making the... Oh my God, these people are so sweeping for him. Same reason Jeremy reacted on a live stream like a child. Still love him, just sometimes he overreacts. I don't know. He's sorry. He's apologetic. Whoa, buddy. Actually, you're incorrect. Stated their channels were dying and showed a channel, Ryan's, whose content had switched to live streaming, saying that their video views were down even though they don't do pre-taped content. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a really sad look. He used to stream, and that's how the basement peeing happened. Oh, yeah. What, he got caught peeing in his basement or something? So now he can just piss in his basement in peace, right? Nobody has to deal with it. I'm not like 100% familiar with Jeremy. I just know that anytime his videos have rolled through my streams or like on my algorithm, I've always watched it and just been like, this is fucking terrible. Tipster is on low